This is a message which Swami gave on May 24th. May 24th, 1992. Okay, and he talks about spirituality. The last time when I gave a talk 2-3 weeks ago, I talked a little about spirituality, and one of the sisters actually came out and told me she had a discussion with her friend about spirituality, and she understood a little bit, and she then used this as a point to discuss with a friend who asked her, do you believe in religion or do you believe in spirituality? Okay, now, and surprisingly, Swami, on this particular date, which I mentioned, May 24th, 1992, talked about spirituality, which I happened to pick up recently. And he gave a very beautiful message. He gave 6 points regarding spirituality. And I'll read you point by point, and I'll try to go deep into it to try to explain from what I understand about spirituality. Point number 1. Spirituality means destroying the animal nature in man and making him realize his divine consciousness. So what is this animal nature in man, and what is the divine consciousness that Swami is talking about? No, Swami talks these messages, and sometimes it's very cryptic, and we have to dig deep to understand what he means. So when he talks about the animal nature, he compares animal and he compares man. Animal has got a body and mind. Man has got one extra feature in him, that is body, mind, and intellect. With your body and mind, you only do what your body demands. You work with your brains and you just do. With intellect, you question yourself before you do what you want to do. Is that the right thing? Am I going the right path? Is this the right action that I'm taking? So that's why Swami says, destroying the animal nature in man and making him realize his divine consciousness, going back to his thought, what his essential being is. Swami is talking about that. Number 2, spirituality implies that one should not develop egoistic pride on account of the divine potencies in man, but utilize them for achieving spiritual strength. Now, when he talks about develop his egoistic pride, Swami at one time says, if you have ego, I go. If you have ego, I go. He goes away. Basically, that's what he says, So, but you have the divine potencies, because later I'll explain to you what you are composed of, what man is composed of. Number 3, spirituality calls for recognition of the manifold capacities manifesting in man and emanating from the spirit and not from the mind. It means developing faith that all powers come from the divine. Again, here Swami talks about the spirit. What is the spirit that Swami talks about? We have to ask, and the question is, what is spirit Swami talking about? What is that essentially that enlivens you? That is the spirit, the superconsciousness, God, Brahman, Atman, Allah, any name you give. Because we don't know, everybody gives different names to it. So that's a spirit that enlivens it. And don't be proud, although you know about it, don't make it an ego of yours. Oh, I know it, he doesn't know it. Just be aware of that. Then spirituality does not mean proceeding from human to divine. It seeks to unfold the divinity in man. And this is a very good message. We, all of us, when we do all these ceremonies and rituals and the philosophies that we study, we are thinking that we are moving from a human, a person, a man, a girl, a lady, whoever you are, to become divine. But Swami says, no, unfold the divinity within. When you unfold the divinity within, what happens to you? You lose your ego. You become humble. You become full of happiness. When you do things that you thought before you couldn't do. So unfold the divinity within. That's what you should do. You don't have desires. You develop your human qualities, basically. Okay? And then he goes on to say, point number 5, Spirituality does not mean passing from the mundane to the divine. Spirituality means making man manifest the divinity in him. Again, when he talks of mundane, what do we mean by mundane? Mundane is the worldly thing, worldly attraction. Mundane is the world. Basically, mundane is the world. You are attracted by, going out and enjoying. So nothing wrong with going out and enjoying. Go have fun. Go make your money. Do everything that you have to do because that's your duty. But remember, or at the same time, that you are very special. Don't get attached or attached to it. That's what Swami says. Okay? Now, people today have the wrong impression that spirituality is concerned with the journey from mundane world to the higher realm and vice versa. Because of this mistaken view, students today are confused about spirituality and it appears meaningless to them. Well, it is for most of us. We find it very confusing. Spirituality is very confusing. That's why we stick on to religion. Because religion actually came about, which I touched on last time, is if you get the great masters of years ago, of those, we're talking of Adi Shankara, we're talking of Christ, we're talking of Krishna, we're talking of Buddha, Allah, Mahavira, anybody. If you put them in a table, they only talk of one thing. They only talk, become a better person, love one another. They never said, follow me and become a Christian or a Sikh or whatever it is. He said, if they all sit together, they'll probably laugh at us as what we are doing, all these rituals. They talk only about being a philosophy of being a better person. So what's wrong in that? Be a better person, be a good person. That's all he's asking. That's what all the masters did. But the followers are the one who try to control people by creating, religions were created to say this dogma you must follow, then only you become a better person. No master ever said that. No master ever did that. Okay? And then spirituality, finally Swan says, spirituality is the realization of the role of the spirit in daily life. It's a way of life. What? And you will see. Whatever you do, remember, you're like sitting on a balcony and looking at your body and your mind and intellect and telling, hey, you're doing that. Just be aware of that. It's you. It's spirit that is doing it. Something is living in you. And a daily example, like I used before, is when you see this light, when you see the aircon, when you see the fan, when you see the camera. And if you get someone who's innocent, say someone from this thing, you'll be wondering, how does the fan work? How does the light work? How is the aircon working? What's the spirit behind that? Enlightening factor. That's electricity. Just like that. God is the enlightening factor for all of us. Without God, you cannot see, you cannot do anything. Everything is done by Him. Brahman is everything and everything is Brahman. Just remember that. So, finally, the question is, you must ask yourself, what is man? What is our composition of man? I mentioned this earlier. Man is basically spirit and matter. Spirit is the enlightening factor. Matter is your body, mind, and intellect. That is man. And then the next one, who is man? What is man now? Who is man? Man. And then next question is going to be, who's God then? Okay, so we ask ourselves, who is man? Who is man is, the answer is, consists of spirit, which is God, plus desires. We have desires. That makes us man. Then who is God? Simple. Man minus desires is God. Okay? So a seeker cannot reach God by pursuing these endless manifestations that we see. We want a lot of things for ourselves, all these desires. You will never be able to reach God. The spiritual quest will only when you plunge deep within yourself, into your own personality, and discover the supreme Atman, Brahman, whoever you call it, whatever name you give it, Shivan or Amman or whatever. So he's not found externally, he's found internally. And we don't, of course, we use superlatives to describe God. He's infinite, he's the best, he's the biggest, he's the smartest, but that is what our nature is as human beings, to use these superlatives. But remember, God has got no description. He is within you. How can you describe something within you? You do not know who He is. He's infinite. He's got no beginning, got no ending. So you cannot describe Him. Question is how to reach God then. The next question is, how do I reach God? There's only way you reach God. It's only one way you reach God. You become God yourself. You become God yourself. And this is what Krishna in verse 25 of chapter 5 said. He gives the answer actually. Sages attain bliss of Brahman, become Brahman, whose sins have been destroyed, whose dualities are destroyed, who are self-controlled, who revel in the welfare of all beings. This sounds a lot of jargon inside here, but I'll try to break it down. What are the sins we're talking about? Whose sins are destroyed. Sins in Vedantic philosophy is mental agitation. Simple as that. Mental agitation, if you do something and you know it's wrong, you're mentally agitated, you know that is sin already. It's not a qualification as we give here, see, you do this is right, that is wrong. It's qualification we give. But in Vedantic philosophy, anything is mentally agitated you is considered sin. Okay? Any action at the physical level that causes mental agitation is sin. Okay? Now, what are the sins we are talking about? Next question is, okay, sin, you tell me that's mental agitation. What are the sins are we talking about? At the physical level, that causes you any agitation, whether, you see, if you give a knife to a surgeon, when he cuts up a body, he's curing the person. That's not a sin. But if you give a knife to me, I may go and kill someone. That's a sin. That's causing mental agitation. These are sins which has got dualities, pairs of opposites. Whenever there's anything pairs of opposites, you know, hey, something's wrong here. Okay? And the only way to control this is if you develop your intellect. Once the intellect exercises kingship or suzerainty over the mind, the pairs of hot will opposites will be seen. You cannot go around complaining summer is hot, winter is cold, why is it so hot, why is it so cold? The food is nice, this food is not nice. Why do you go out? You cannot, because it is, the summer is hot, there is to be hot. Winter is cold, winter has to be cold. Food is nice, the food is good, it's nice today. Like there is a poem that says, a lily is a lily, an oak is an oak. A lily can't be an oak, and an oak can't be a lily. Okay? So whose fault it is when you start complaining, when you're making all these complaints? Keep complaining for the rest of your life. It's not going to change. It's going to be an oak, it's going to be an oak. So you will be behind others will carry on. They will not they will complain, maybe will accept it, and they carry on. Okay? So be matured about it and accept it for what it is. So what is the attitude should then what I have? If you remember, there's a poem actually, and the king of Persia, he mentioned about, Baba also told a similar story, even this shall pass. He had it actually engraved on his ring. Even this shall pass. And anything that happens, he gets the most beautiful princess as his bride, he told, even this shall pass. He wins a battle, even this shall pass. And Swami talks about passing clouds. Almost similar. Okay? So you always work with your intellect, focused on the higher values of life. And finally, what's the attitude we should have then? The best and worst of things, it's all different expressions of the same reality. When I say reality, I mean Atman God. It's the same, it's the expressions from reality. It's for you to decide, to choose, to make the decision. And this is actually in relation to Baba's message, May 24th, 1992. Sai Ram. If there's any questions, please call.
My humble salutations at the lotus feet of Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, Ganapati. Salam everyone. Good morning. Happy Sunday morning. Nice to see all of you. Wow, what a wonderful bhajans we had today. I think we should give all of yourselves a round of applause. Wonderful. Everyone has sing with so much of energy, so much of love. It's nothing like feeling the pulse and love shared by everyone, especially when you see the young children. You know. It's so much of power, vigor, and can you imagine if the adults themselves feeling nervous to sing? Can you imagine the children singing among the adults? There's some very good singers. They're holding a mic instead of spending the Saturday watching TV. They're practicing and coming down here and singing with so much of vigor. Really, so much of inspirational from this kids. Amazing, really amazing. So much of love. And of course, here and there a bit thing, but that's part of this bhajans. This is part of the journey. This is part of this transformation. And it's forgive. It's for us to forgive. It's for us to envelop that small little error and support them and offer our voice, our love, our enthusiasm as petals in the flower, as Swami uses them as his garland. With those words, I wanted to share what a wonderful message by Brother Kiri. Okay, wonderful. Some of you may not know, he's the previous past president or chairman of the center. And before the other brother sitting right in the back there, who is Brother Raja, who held the center at a very difficult times and handed over to us in a way that was best given to us, and so with so much of gratitude and love to these two gentlemen who held the center through some very nice times and some very challenging times. Brother's message was very, very profound, very, very deep. And I want to share this, okay, because this reflects a nice way to end this Sunday morning. And this one aspect reminds me of what this uncle Gangadharan Shastri, doctor I think, he's a Dr. Gangadharan Shastri said. This man one day was in India, far away from Prashanti, very far away, decides to visit Swami. So he makes leave, application for leave, gets rejected. He goes and begs his boss, and this is narrated by Dr. Gangadhari Shastri. You can see it in YouTube. So it's not a made-up story, it's real story. Okay. He applied and leave, and the boss said cannot. They said finally he managed to convince his boss. He gets his MC. Then he must get the more important leave certificate, that is from his wife. So he asked his wife, why don't you join me and we make this long journey to Prashanti. India is not easy, this was many years ago. You have to take many different terminals and changes and reach. And finally the wife says, I will join you. So they take all this effort, takes money, takes his savings and everything, buys various tickets and everything, and they make this long, difficult journey, and finally they reach Swami. And then after many days being in the Prashanti Nilayam, he gets a chance to be in front of Swami. Wow, what an opportunity. And then Swami looks up to him, comes and looks up to him and smiles. Because this was not an ordinary journey. It took him a lot of effort. And finally he stands in front of Swami and then he says, Swami, I'm here with my family, I'm here with my family. With so much of love and enthusiasm. And Swami lovingly says, huh? Swami, I've come, Swami, with my family and everything. It's because of our love and everything. You are everything. We have come here. You are everything to me and to my family. We have come here. Huh? Swami replies, Swami, I've come here with my family, and he repeats this 2 or 3 times. I've come here to be with you because you are my everything. And Swami says, no. I've permitted you to come here. So the next time when we do something for Swami, it's not because I decided to come on a Sunday morning and assume this role as a chairman. I have not come here playing this harmonium. 17-year-old boy should have been sleeping, come here and practicing all the children and doing this for Swami. I'm not here with my golden voice chanting the Vedic mantras in the morning before everybody starts the bhajan to set the tone. I'm not the one who spends 3 o'clock in the morning doing all these lyrics and everything for Swami, and I'm sacrificing this to Swami. I'm not standing here and giving this message. He's permitted us to do it. That's the difference. If you go to your house, you go to your house. No one has to permit you to be in your house. But for Swami, it's his permission. So the next time when you hold a mic, remember He's permitted you. The next time you're listening to someone giving a message, listen with great intent, because Swami has permitted him to say whatever that he needs to say, and he's permitted you to listen. And the next time if you are here just to listen and clap, remember, he's permitted you. Why, you must ask? It's because he loves you. He loves you with so much of love, he's permitted you to be here. Those words, let us rise for it. Thank you, Sarah.